very thankful this morning. I have truly enjoyed what I've heard and what I've felt this morning. And I know that I needed it.
Yeah.
Much as anyone else did, I needed it. I, for one, am very thankful that I made the effort to get up and come up here this morning. So easy to get discouraged. Listening to Brother Bob.
Yeah.
You know, it puts things in perspective.
Yes. Yep.
And I needed to hear that. I think we all did.
Think about that poor brother down there.
You know, when we moved down here, we struggled. Trying to find a place where we could preach. And feeling obligated because of the call to preach. And it is a responsibility. That and being a father to 3 children is the greatest responsibility that I have. And I remember the feeling when we were struggling. God, what would you have us to do?
Yeah.
And you know, we went to so many different churches.
Yep. Just trying.
Hardest thing.
And you know, when we started pressing Dad, let's open us a little church somewhere. Let's find us somewhere where we can get up
Yeah.
and preach and lift up that bloodstained banner.
That's right.
I don't know why this is on my mind.
Come on.
I felt awful good this morning.
Yeah. Good day.
And I don't know, I've been awful hoarse. I've been woke up this morning with a sore throat. And you know, when we were getting awful down, Brandon, and I know everyone was praying, Lord, what should we do? And you know, when we started coming around here in this little town and looking for a little building somewhere after we got kicked out, that primitive church right up the road there. And you know, I went to sleep one night praying, a Saturday night. And you know, I had me a little dreams, praying for a minute. I don't know why this is on my mind. This is not what I was planning on talking about.
Bless the Lord.
But you know what? I dreamed that we were the family, and your family. And we were sitting in a little park somewhere outside, in a little circle. And our heads were down. And I felt such a burden on my heart. And we were just hanging our heads there. Brandon, and you stepped up. And you just kind of lifted your hands up and let them drop to your side. And said, I don't know what we're going to do, people. Listen, and you know what? I knew what he was talking about. Without him ever saying, I don't know what we're going to do about church. Because, listen to me, I looked up and here come an elderly man, bald-headed, dressed in rags. He come walking up in our midst of people. And I remember feeling, listen, a little something come over me, people. And you know what? He just looked at us as he stood in the circle, and he raised his hands and said, have I not always provided? Listen, you follow me, people, listen, you know what? I began to lead us down that hill there by a little creek, people, and my little children, my 2 oldest, began to run and laugh. People, I don't know, listen if I keep from crying or not. But oh, people, listen. Gabby and Sophie ran up to him and grabbed his hands, and he was swinging them there. People, and you know what? I remember thinking everything's gonna be okay. But oh, people, listen. And you know what? He led us on, and we come to a little white building. Listen to me. And we walked on in the little church house there, and it was like fast forwarding 20 years down the road, because when I come in, I looked up in the stands, and I seen my girls sitting there, but they were older and they were beautiful. Listen, and Dad, you were standing up here, gray-headed, listen, and he was preaching to a full house. But oh, this morning, how real it is. This morning, and I woke up shouting, saying, shame on me. People, when I get down and doubt, listen, when I think, listen, well, I don't even know why I'm going to get up and go to church in the morning. It's just going to be family again. But oh,
family anyways.
God bless my Lord, because if that's what it takes for right now, if that's what it takes, listen, to grow this little church house, then you better believe, listen, I'm going to be here Sunday mornings. Listen, and you know what? People, I began to read a little bit this morning, and I was reading about, listen, all through the New Testament, when Jesus was amongst them. Listen, you can read, Brother Shad, so many miracles that he performed, so many people, listen, that he touched, and you know what? Sometimes I think about, listen, how dark a time that was back then. People, are you talking about cruel people back then? Those times probably made the Dark Ages look like Easter Sunday. Listen, but oh, I read one time where Jesus had come to Capernaum. Listen, and there was a centurion man who had him a servant that he loved. Listen, and I want you to listen to this because I think it shows just how we all need to listen, to carry ourselves, listen, and approach this thing, because that man, that centurion man, had him a servant who was dying, listen, and you know what? He heard that Jesus had come to town, and he sent a bunch of his servants out and said, you go get this man and you ask him to come listen to our house and heal my servant. But oh, listen to me. Jesus was walking along and his servants come listen and asked him, would you come out of my master's home and heal his servant? But oh, Jesus started following him. But that centurion, he had him a change of heart. Listen, he wrote him a little note on a piece of paper, and he gave it to his servant and said, you go and you present this to the Lord. Listen, and when he did, Jesus, no doubt he opened it up and he read it aloud. But oh, that letter said, listen, I said, I am not worthy for you to come to my home, to step foot under my rooftop. All I'm asking is just speak the word, and my servant will be made whole. But oh, Jesus turned to those that were with him, and it says he marveled. Can you imagine making my Lord marvel at your faith? And he turned to him and said, no such great faith have I found anywhere else. Listen, and when those servants got back, that sickly man was made well. But oh, people, listen, do you have the faith to carry on? Do you have listen, the perseverance when troubles come, when you're down and out? Do you have the faith to carry on? Listen, and you know what? You can turn just a couple pages and you can find, in my opinion, probably one of the most, one of the greatest demonstrations, of faith in this book here was a woman, an older woman had a blood issue, a blood disease from the time she was born. But oh, she heard Jesus was coming, walking through the city square there. And so she listened, she got down and crawled through that crowd that was gathered around Jesus. Didn't walk through it, got down on her knees and crawled to my Lord because she knew, if I could just touch the hem of his garment, I will be healed. But oh, people, and as she fought through that crowd and just reached her hand down and probably just brushed a thread on his garment there, listen to me, immediately she was healed. She knew it. Listen, and you know what? Jesus stopped right there. Listen, and he looked up and said, someone hath touched me. Listen, and no doubt his disciples looked at him like you're crazy. The people throng about you. Everyone is touching you. But oh, I love what my Lord said. Listen, he said, no, this one is different because I detect virtue has gone out of me. But oh, that woman knew that she wasn't hid anymore. And I love the way it's written there. And it says that she came trembling. Listen, do you ever come to my Lord trembling? Do you ever get down, listen, on your knees and tremble in your heart? But oh, she fell
Yeah.
down at my Lord's feet. Listen, and you know what? No doubt thought maybe she's gonna get reprimanded, but Jesus, listen, I just looked at her and said, "Rise, maid, thy faith have made thee whole."
Yeah.
But oh,
Yeah.
people,
Thank you for that.
do you think that it was the action, listen, of her reaching and touching his garment that made her whole?
Yeah.
Or do you think then it was because she believed if she did it that she would be made whole?
Yeah.
People, don't confuse the two.
That's right.
It wasn't the fact that she reached out and touched him that made her whole. There was nothing special about Jesus' garment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the fact that she believed
Special about that faith.
in her heart that if she would reach out and touch him, that she would be made whole.
Yeah.
Same thing with the centurion servant.
Yeah.
He knew that all Jesus had to do was speak the word,
Yeah.
and his servant would be made whole.
That's right.
It wasn't in whether or not Jesus would have went to his home and touched him.
That's
It was
right.
in the faith.
Yeah.
That's right.
My faith is what led me to become whole. It started with fear,
That's right.
and it ended with faith.
Yeah.
And I know, Dad, I'm going to get out of the way and let you come.
No, close it out. Close it out.
Come on, brother Chris, you ought to come for a few minutes.
Take a few minutes. Speak a couple words.
I drove 600
We're getting
miles.
church.
Chris, I drove 600 miles to get it.
I'll tell this and I'll get out of the way. We'll let Dad come and just take a couple minutes.
We'll do our church.
And then we'll go into church work. You know, I was reading last week. I don't know why or what led me to do it, but back in World War II, the German paratroopers dropped down in a little island called Crete. And you know, when they landed, little tiny village of Melanie, the farmers and the villagers came out with just their tools, kitchen knives, pitchforks, and met those German paratroopers. And it didn't end well for them, as you can imagine. And you know, it says that they were lined up. The entire village was lined up and shot and buried in a mass grave. You know, there was a 6-year-old boy there, and his name was Alexander Papadakis. Was 6 years old and watched his entire family get gunned down right in front of him. And you know, they saved his life and spared him and sent him to a concentration camp where he stayed many years. And you know what? Many years later, after the war was over and he's an elderly man, he opened up a little university right there in that village of Melanie. Listen, and it was the Conference of Peace and Understanding is the name of it. And you know, he caught a lot of slack, Brandon, when he opened up this little place and he got questions about why he was doing it. Listen, and you know what he said to him? Listen, he said, I feel listen, that it's about time that I let this hatred go out of my heart. And I want to encourage people to do the same. Listen, and you know what? When he was given a lecture one time, I had a young student ask him, what is the meaning of life? Listen, and no doubt was some nervous laughter when he asked that question. Such a question as that, people. And you know what? Listen, Papaderis, he reached into his pocket and he pulled out a little round mirror. Listen, and you know what? He began to tell him, when I was just a young boy, listen, in my village, when my family was killed, listen, I come across a German motorcycle that had crashed in the road. Listen, and there were fragments of this mirror everywhere. But oh, he said, I tried to put them all back together, but I couldn't find them all. I couldn't make them fit. So I picked up the largest one I could find, and I spent many a night rubbing it on a stone. Listen, rounding the corners. But oh, God, listen, and you know what? He held up that mirror and he said, I am like this little fragment here. I am a fragment of something much larger, something more beautiful, that even though I may not understand, I can use this mirror to shine light down into the darkest places. Listen, and into the blackest hearts. But oh, and he said, that is the meaning of my life, is to be like this mirror and reflect that light. People, are you ready? Listen, are you doing everything that you can do to try to get your loved ones, your children, your friends and neighbors? Are you reflecting that light this morning? It seems like I make a mess of everything I do.
Yeah.
It seems like everything I touch, I make a mess of. But I'm never going to stop trying to reflect that light. And you know that university is still there today. Papaderis is long dead.
Yeah.
But when you walk in to that conference room, into the main entrance, the first thing you'll see is that little mirror. And it's reflecting right back at you. And he asked for that on his deathbed. Think about that. You think you got problems? Sure we do. We all got problems. But let's keep things in perspective. Let's never stop trying to shine that light. Come on, Dad. Take a few minutes.